All right, and we are clear on that. All right, so now bring up Ripsaw. Zombies overloaded. Alrighty. So you were specifically given this by the Steam developer, yes?
I looked and actually no, it comes from Brainium Games as well.
Oh,
Like I'm not sure why they're not listed on the Steam page.
huh. Real weird.
Yes, yes, it is.
And definitely put in parentheses Steam version.
Yep.
Zombies overloaded. Provided by Brainium Games. Gameplay is of the Switch version.
Yes. Because honestly, graphically, I don't think it's going to be too different. Oh.
Nintendo, yes.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
and provided by Brainium Games LLC.
Yeah. Mm.
Alrighty. How charged is my Switch controller? At least it's on. I guess it's full charged. Well, I unplugged it and it didn't turn off immediately, so. Alrighty. That's sorted. I need to switch my monitor over to the HDMI 2. No, that's my Chromecast. There it is. Is my... Can you hear my TV?
No.
Good. So I guess we can begin.
All right.
Oh, I should probably
Let's.
put Steam version in the...
I'm back.
All right, good.
Okay.
I should probably put Steam version on the actual, like, title.
All right.
Alrighty. Looks like we're ready to begin.
All right. Then we may proceed.
Alrighty then. We shall begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So you're going to use the right music?
My bad. 1 second.
Oh.
Alright, let's try this again without me fucking up.
Yes. Yes, that would be good.
Alright.
Thankfully, this can be... We're back to editing things, or rather, you are, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Let me flash this real quick. Not that. That way I know to cut out to here.
Right.
Alrighty then. We shall begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, right. Welcome to the fourth and final game of the evening. So, I think we have a first here. That is to say, Zombies Overloaded here has actually been featured on the program, and fairly recently.
Yeah, I remember playing that.
About 4 months ago, by the reckoning of YouTube. So, you know, like about 4.5, if we're accounting for the lag between Twitch and YouTube. Point is, we have covered this game, but as it turns out, Brainium Games sent over a PC version of this code in time for the spooky season. It just didn't pick that out immediately because we get a lot of zombie games. To wit, next week we got another zombie game. And if it seems weird that we're reviewing zombie games now, backwash from Halloween. You know, it's just that we couldn't fit it in the schedule in October. So I suppose the first question is, what might be different between the Switch version and the PC version, the Steam version? Controls, basically. I would want to say that Zombies Overloaded here would control better with a mouse and keyboard, but it doesn't. And that's down to the way Zombies Overloaded handles the twin stick shooting. See, your normal, everyday, average twin stick shooter, left stick moves, right stick shoots. And under that configuration, using a mouse in place for a control stick is way more accurate. But this game adds an extra step. Instead of aiming with the control stick, you still do that, but you actually have to use the right trigger, if I'm remembering correctly,
Yes.
to shoot your bullets. And that negates any sort of real advantage you'd have on...
Well, and it's because of ammunition concerns. Twin stick shooters generally work best when you can fire fairly constantly.
I mean, you can do that with the pistol. It's unlimited ammo. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have, like, direct control over the shooting. Like you do with some other twin stick shooters. And so that negates the main advantage you'd have playing on a PC. That's more accurate control. Outside of that, this is basically the same game we covered some months ago. And I don't think the opinions have changed, at least among my contemporaries.
Mm-hmm.
Having played it myself, I think I've arrived to about the same conclusion. And that is, this game is fun in short bursts. Like, it's a really good 15, 30-minute game to play. Maybe knock out a couple of upgrades, and then you move on to something else. Because this is basically the essential skeleton of a twin stick shooter. Like, it kind of reminds me of the difference between the original Geometry Wars Retro Evolved versus, like, Galaxies or Geometry Wars 3.
I definitely recall having some negative opinions about the fact that you are in a square rectangular room and just killing the zombies that enter that room through the door or doors.
Now, that's only true of the... trying to remember, like, the map mode. Because there's actually 3 maps. And the other 2 are Cornered and Blackout. And they are different. Not just in terms of the map, but the layout. And they are a bit more dynamic than the base map here. Though I also ironically found it less playable, mainly due to the bosses. They're harder on those modes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you have to unlock those. And they've also added, I don't know if pacifism mode was in the game months ago, but they got it here. And I found it a curio and nothing more.
I hated it. I actively hated it.
Yeah, it's like I played it once and moved on. Like, I found the base game to be playable, but repetitive, even for a twin-stick shooter. Because there's no randomization. Every wave plays basically the same. And I found the game basically got out of control about wave 16. By that point, the zombies are really pouring out and overwhelming you. And I'm sure you can get past that, but it's just like that's the point where it felt like the developers really wanted you to get crushed after the 3rd boss wave, at least to that mode. And, the upgrade is still the same. You can either buy skins, you can unlock the other maps, or you can, upgrade your movement, your damage capacity, your weapons. your bone magnet, because you got essentially two currencies, though it's not a microtransaction game either. I don't think it's aiming to be a parody of microtransaction games. It's just aping the mechanics. In that you buy unlockables and upgrades with gold coins, but gold coins and levels are actually hard to come by. So you buy gold coins with bones, which are generated with much more frequency. Like, honestly, it seemed a bit unnecessary to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's one of those ones they probably wanted to have a microtransaction thing, but got cold feet at the last minute.
possibly, I couldn't say.
Yeah, that's one of those ones we'd have to know for sure from the devs. It's just kind of personal feeling on that.
Yeah,
I think I recall that being a thing also, yeah.
Which, I mean,
ultimately,
don't get it twisted. I don't want there to be microtransactions or something like this.
right.
So it's a
Oh yeah,
positive
obviously.
choice.
It's just the problem when you have like mechanics that make more sense with microtransactions in a game that doesn't have them.
Yeah,
You end up with a game that at best feels a little weird.
right.
This happens with those games where they like release a I forget which one it was. There was a fairly significant one that Rockman X Dive, I think, released a like complete version that doesn't have any of the microtransaction functions, and then you're just left with some really weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Haven't played that yet. It's on the list. But yeah, ultimately, where I come down on this game is it's a perfectly playable twin stick shooter. It's a bit basic. It doesn't really have any staying power, even with the upgrade system, even with the extra maps. I quickly grew tired of this one. And yeah, once again, playing this on Steam versus the Switch, I'd actually recommend the Switch version, because this game definitely comes across as a better mobile game.
Either Switch or Steam Deck if you have the option of using that.
Yeah, and I'd imagine this is this will work decently with a Steam Deck. It says unknown, which means they haven't specifically made compatibility with it. But like, it'll, like, if it has controller compatibility, which it does, it should work fine and well enough. And as far as its price goes, $6, $5.99. Trying to remember if that's the same on Switch. Let me look that up.
Yeah, I can't even see because I own it.
Yeah. For Nintendo Switch. Yeah, same price. Or actually, it looks like maybe a dollar. Yeah, it's actually $1 more expensive on the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, that's pretty minor difference, and isn't going to change my recommendation. Still get the Switch.
If you have the Switch compared to needing to buy a Steam Deck, basically is what this comes down to. You'd pay $1 extra for this version instead of paying like what, $300-$400 for a Steam Deck.
I'd assume if you have a Steam Deck, you're going to be wanting more than just a pretty basic twin stick shooter.
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna. This isn't something you'd go buy a Steam Deck for.
Right.
You'd get it on Steam if you already had the Steam Deck. But if you already had the Switch, it'd just pay the extra $1 and get it on the Switch.
Yeah. Point is, it's a bit weird to be covering the same game twice, but they did. But the publisher did send. They sent the Switch version some months back, and then they sent the PC version. It's like, I guess that's my fault for requesting it on the code site, when I didn't recognize it. Once again, it's a subset of having a lot of zombie games.
Yeah.
Because
especially
once again,
post spooky season.
Yeah, because once again, got another zombie game coming up next week, but more on that on Wednesday, because coming up on the week ahead, on November 19th, we are looking to have Edgar Johanan of Aya Games. At least I'm hoping. I'll be honest, they've been a bit weird. Mainly like their PR people kept wanting to change the dates of this interview. I think that they're having some developmental difficulties on their title, but when I suggested like let's move this to January, they're like, no, we're good. We're good for this Wednesday, apparently. Although last time they wanted to delay it to the day before Thanksgiving, and I told them flat out that's not happening because it's the day before Thanksgiving. I have plans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm assuming my colleagues here have plans because Thanksgiving is one of the major U.S. holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was just not happening. So, as far as I know, we are still doing this interview on Wednesday, but I also won't be surprised if it gets delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out here and now because they've been weird about stuff. Anyway, should this go forward, we're going to be talking about Ayasa Shadows of Silence. Dive into Ayasa, a dark and mysterious platformer where light and shadow hold the key to survival. Journey through 6 haunting lands, solve challenging puzzles, and restore balance to a world on the brink of collapse. Sounds interesting. Not sure if they're going for the Metroidvania thing here. No, I will not call it search action. Oh, well, I guess that's something we can ask the devs. And we do have a Friday interview pending. Petty, do you have anything on Friday?
Not to my knowledge. At least nothing planned.
Okay. Then that means finally, we are going to have Fernando Dominguez San Martino of Lemon Chili Soft. We have been trying to nail this down for months. It's just every time it comes up. Not all the time it's been Petty's fault. Sometimes Petty had a thing to do. Sometimes it was him. Sometimes it was me. It's just every time it's been one of those cursed interviews. We had a few of those. But it looks like, barring another thing, another circumstance, we're finally going to be talking about Super Farming Boy. So look for that on Friday. We also have a new episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents. I am assuming Mac is going to be joining us this week, but
And
honestly,
it's going to be
unless
a big
he isn't
one,
or
folks.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in up in the air mode. So more on that on Wednesday. So until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.